headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the podcast, The Fine Print, and, of course, Entree Leadership. And are we announcing yet your new endeavor?
I think we are now, Dave.
Okay.
I mean, you're already letting the cat out of the bag.
Well, that cat, he was scrambling in the bag anyway. But on Thursday, George and Rachel will launch a new podcast called The Smart Money Happy Hour.
Yes, we are so excited about this.
Which is more about smart money and less about drinking, but
Absolutely.
Both are involved.
We wanted it to at least feel inviting. In a happy hour, there's a level of calm casualness. We're not here to yell at you. We wanted this to be kind of your friends hanging out talking about money, or at least the friends you wish you had. Or not, you can't apply to be Rachel's friend. She has enough.
Does she?
Yes.
But we can apply to be your friend?
You know, I could use some friends, Dave.
Can you?
I don't have as many as you'd think.
George, I'm shocked.
But it's fun. We're just, we're two money experts who happen to be friends talking about the stuff you wish your friends were talking about. And money, pop culture, entertainment. And that's what this is. We want people, you could send this to a friend and go, hey, you don't have to care about the Ramsey Show. We just want to talk about things that matter to you. And that one of those things is money.
One of the reasons we're launching that this week on the Ramsey Network is we're celebrating 30 years of the Ramsey Show this week.
Woo!
Yeah, crazy.
Can you believe it?
And we're doing a whole bunch of fun stuff, including today's show. We'll have all the different Ramsey personalities on. George called it speed dating a little bit earlier. So for a couple segments each one of them will be with me today.
Who's going to get the rose? Find out later.
Well, George, it's obviously you. So
Thank
there
you.
you go. You're my favorite co-host that's on right now.
Man, that $20 went a long way, guys. That's all it takes. But we had a good time this morning celebrating with our whole team. I mean, balloons, videos, telling stories. Did you ever think back then you were like, one day I'll be celebrating a 30th anniversary of this show?
No, I didn't. I have thought ever since we've been on the air we were going to get fired at any moment. And actually, we have been fired a bunch of times. The good news is that we work for ourselves. So when we get fired, it's just some local radio station. We had a guy in Alabama call me up one time and he goes, Ramsey, I got to take you off the air. And I'm like, why, man? What did I do now? I mean, what we're always arguing with the radio stations back and forth. We got almost 700 of them. So there's someone of them to argue with all the time about something. And he said, you're going to kill somebody. And I said, I'm going to kill somebody? I'm like, how could I kill somebody? I'm telling people to get out of debt. Are they going to die from getting out of debt? And he goes, no, your show's so boring. People listening to it are going to fall asleep while they're driving and run off the road and die.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing.
He was serious as a heart attack. It was really pretty funny. But I started laughing. I said, well, I got it. I don't even have a comeback for that dude, so just cancel it. It's all good. Of course, he's not in the radio business anymore. And
You're
we still
a lot
are,
of things, Dave, but I wouldn't say boring is one of them.
Well, I mean, it depends on where you're coming from,
Sure.
So, but yeah, we told the team this morning we have failed a lot in 30 years. We just didn't quit. It's really the only difference. We fail all the time. I mean, the number of radio stations I have been on. We're currently on 680, I guess it is, number 2 talk radio show in America today. Marconi winner, multiple radio Hall of Fame, all this other stuff, all these accolades nowadays. But boy, we have been on, I think in some cities we've been on everybody that carried talk one time or another. I mean,
Wow.
We've been all the way around the horn. It's being in a small town dating all the girls. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy. So, but we've been, and sometimes we moved from the least one all the way up to the best one, and sometimes we moved from the best one down to the least one in terms of signal size or whatever. But
now it's moved so far beyond radio. I mean, there's 17 other places you can watch and listen, and Amazon.
Oh yeah, I mean, YouTube and podcasts together are now bigger than talk radio on our show anyway.
Wow.
I mean, there's about 12 or 14 million of them, and there's a little under 10 million on the radio show. So it's somewhere around 20-something million total, and it used to be more than half was talk radio, but talk radio is not in front and center with everybody like it used to be. It's still very strong though, still very viable, but that's of course where this whole thing started. So yeah, and it's gone through a lot of iterations. It was originally called The Money Game, then we changed it when it was just me. After that, the guys that started it with me, one has passed away and the other one went on to do other things, and I kept going. And then we changed it to the Dave Ramsey Show, and it was that until about 2 years ago.
Wow.
A year and a half ago now, I guess, we changed it to the Ramsey Show in honor of all these Ramsey personalities being my co-hosts. And so, but I mean, God, George, I've screwed up more. The only thing I didn't screw up was I just kept coming to work every day.
Showed up.
Just showed up and cared and still love people. We all still love people here. It's kind of a core at the Ramsey soul here. We're here to help you guys. We really, really are. It sounds like a cheese factory, but it's the truth. Because the only thing keeps you going in the middle of all the corporate BS that you put up with in an industry like the radio business. The radio business has got a lot of wonderful people.
It can be brutal.
It's got a lot of wonderful people, but it's got a lot of sharks too. And sharks to snakes, and they swim together. And you know, they're just corporate, and they live on fear, and they're worried about next week, and they don't think long term often, and then they end up doing stupid but mean illegal things, and we've endured all of that for 30 years. It's been there's a lot of scars, a lot of calluses, a lot of process that goes with this. But the great news is, you know, when I roll up at stop to get a thing at the market this weekend down the country here in southern Middle Tennessee, guy says, "Hey, you're Dave Ramsey. Man, your stuff changed my life. When were you listening? 10 years ago." You know, I mean,
wow.
So I mean, that's why you put up with the sharks and the snakes, to get to help that guy.
Yeah, you were talking about Churchill's story, Winston Churchill, and our core value of never give up. And it reminded me of the Winston quote, "Success is going from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm."
Yeah,
and that's what you've done.
That is what we've done. We were never the prettiest kid on the block. We were never the smartest kid on the block. We were never one of the cool kids. Never have been in anything we've done. In talk radio either, that was true. In TV, it's been true. And YouTube, we're not a cool YouTuber, you know. There's many people, you know, we're not cool enough to be on TikTok, thank God. And so, you know, all of that. And yet we just kept coming to work every day. And just kept showing up and just kept answering the call. And somebody would call in and say, you know, "I'm in debt, I'm scared, I don't know what to do." Or, you know, "I just got an inheritance of $400,000, I don't know what to do." You know, whatever it is, there's all these life things and I don't know what to do. And we've been here for 30 years answering those questions.
Well, FPU, you know, we've affected 10 million families through FPU. With radio, it's hard to tell the impact and the ripple effect something like this has.
Yeah, I mean, to date, we've got $50 million this year in January through September in debt-free screams.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's easy to say on the air, we've had $1 billion of debt-free screams. On the air.
Wow.
Now, that's just the ones that came on the air. And we obviously don't have everybody on the air. And a lot of people don't want to be on the air. So that's pretty crazy. $1 billion of pissing off banks for 30 years.
That never gets old.
It doesn't get old.
Well, I'm going to call this your 30th birthday, Dave, just to make you feel good.
Yeah, I mean, we could call it the 32nd anniversary of my 30th birthday.
There we go.
That'll work, too. This is The Ramsey Show. I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. We are celebrating 30 years on the air this week with the Ramsey Show. And one of the things we did, and George, this was a lot of fun, all of us sat down, all of the Ramsey personalities, and did a 30th anniversary panel. And the video that we did of that is going to drop once a day. We're dropping several sections of it all throughout this week. So today, you can get the first episode on YouTube. Tomorrow,
I was just watching it. It's real good.
The next episode. And it's all behind-the-scenes stuff and laughing and us being family and cutting up and talking about the 30 years and the things that have gone on. And 3 decades of amazing different people and the calls, our favorite calls, our saddest calls, our funniest calls, all that kind of stuff. And so, again, be sure and check it out, The Ramsey Show on YouTube. The 30th anniversary panel drops a video episode every day this week, a new one. So you'll be able to check it out all week long and be able to get pieces of that and allow you to just plug into that series. If you want to talk about your life and your money, this is the place. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Chelsea's with us in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Chelsea. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I was basically wondering, so the gist of the question is should we downsize our home?
What makes you think you should?
So we were active duty, and then we moved to like a reserve type job with the military. So basically kind of lifestyle change. We bought a home. It was about $365. We owe about $300 on it. But we found out that it's kind of eating all of our money, or a lot of it. It's eating a lot of our money. So
you left the military and as a result took a pay cut?
No, we just chose to get out of active duty and just go into like the reserve.
So if you didn't take a pay cut, why is it a strain now and it wasn't before?
I think we are just trying to be smarter with our money. I think.
So it was a strain before. The numbers really haven't changed, just your perspective.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
So what's the payment on this thing?
Yeah. So the payment right now, so we owe about $300. Monthly payment is about, how much is it? It's like we're paying about $25 a month.
$2,500 a month, and what's your take-home pay?
He makes about $120.
So your take-home pay is about $8,000?
I'm sorry, $120,000.
I know your take-home pay monthly is about $8,000.
Oh. I'm sorry, about 9 to 10.
Okay, that puts your house payment at about 25% of your take-home pay. And
so where's the rest of that money going?
That's what we recommend. Why is it tight? You got big car payments?
It's not super tight. I think we're just really nervous about inflation. We have no other debt, but I really just want to pay off my house early. I think that's what it is. Like, I'm a little bit nervous, like, for inflation. We have 2 kids, and I think we could just, like, be smarter. I think our house is like 2,700 square feet. I don't really feel like we need it. I think we're kind of living in excess. We feel very blessed, but
you're not living in excess.
Well, maybe we should. No, we're not.
2 kids and 2,700 square feet in Dallas, Texas is not excess. And making $120,000 a year with a $2,500 house payment is not out of line. Do you need to turn off the news channel?
No. Is it bad feedback or? Sorry.
No, I'm asking if it's giving your brain bad feedback. It sounds like someone has injected anxiety into your veins, and I'm going to accuse Fox or CNN.
I don't watch the news, really. I don't. I don't.
So where's all this worry coming from suddenly that wasn't there before?
Because you said it was a fear of inflation, not the actual effects.
Yeah, not really. Like, so I think we just felt a lot like more secure under the active duty lifestyle.
Ah.
And it's like now it's civilian, and it's kind of like, oh, you're like not really fending for yourself, but it's like you have to be smarter. Like, we didn't have a budget before.
Yeah.
And we didn't have kids either.
And now your husband's around more.
Yes, which I'm very thankful for.
Seeing a connection here.
I don't know. I'm thinking that's the problem.
No.
Do you guys have an emergency fund?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
So here's what I want you to do, okay? Dr. John Deloney says when we're looking at stuff like that and we have that sense of anxiety coming up. We feel our shoulders tightening up. We feel our throat tightening up. You get a sense of it in your body that the worry has become too much. That we need to take up several series of deep breaths, and we need to look at the actual facts, not the emotions.
Okay.
What are the actual facts of your situation? And that's what George and I are it's easy for us to do because we don't live in your world. We're just two guys sitting over here, outside the trees. And so it's easy for us to go, that's a tree. And so, forest and the trees thing, right? So, if you get back from that, there's not anything you've given us in facts that worry us. And we're the first one to tell you to sell something if you've been a goob and overspending. We'll tell you to sell the car so fast around here, it's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, nothing about these numbers screams fire. But what I do think is we may not be paying attention to what's actually happening with our money. And that's where a budget can give you that sense of peace, where you have it on paper and you go, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to follow the budget. Then you're not worried about what could come your way because you've got a plan for every single one of those dollars. And you got plenty of the dollars.
No, she said they started doing a budget and it kind of added to the worry because they're now seeing where it's going. But what you do when you're doing the budget is you are seeing the effects of inflation right there in front of you every month. You're seeing, oh, my dadgum gas bill doubled. Oh, look at that. The food bill went up. Oh, would you look at that? Electricity went up 15% because it turns out fossil fuels create electricity for your emission-free car, dumb butt. And so that's how that really works. So, it's like it's not emission-free. I just want to get a little marker and write on the side
not
of your car,
green as
George.
We thought.
Your little car that says emission-free, I'm going to write on it.
Well,
no,
you have to
it's
write
not.
on Rachel's too first.
But anyway, yeah. So because the electricity has to get in there somehow, you don't get a bucket of it every week. So anyway, all of that stuff shows up and is real. And I think if you'll just look at the numbers, set in the numbers with your husband, the two of you always talking through it, and say, okay, what are the facts? What are my worries? Now, what of those match up with the facts? And facts are your friends to work through trauma or crisis or worry or whatever it is. And all of us that are Ramsey personalities are dramatic people. That's why we're on the air. And so we have a tendency to enter into drama land if we're not careful.
Yeah. And part of this, she said, the mortgage is what's making me feel this way. And Deloney talks about this. He's going, I want to get rid of this mortgage. I don't feel safe because I owe someone something. Now, this is a very reasonable payment, but she's looking for the margin to pay this thing off early. She wants to get aggressive about this. And that means making some sacrifices in the budget. We might need to cut some subscriptions or a gym membership and things that we didn't really realize are eating away at that margin.
Yeah. So everything you told us, Chelsea, sounds like you're in really reasonable shape. Yes, I'm with you. I'd like for you to get the house paid off, but I don't hear anything here that causes you to sell your house. As a matter of fact, I would tell you not to sell it right now, not based on the numbers you gave me. But I would look in the budget and see what else there is to cut that's easier to cut than houses. Houses is the most expensive thing you get rid of. You got to move. And that's expensive. It's distracting. It's like a root canal. It's awful.
It's a hassle. And with
You've
kids.
been in the military. Your stuff, I grew up in the real estate business. Mom and dad in the real estate business. Our furniture was trained to jump on the truck. And you're the same way in the military.
Everything's on wheels.
You're used to moving more than most people, but still, I'm going to tell you, this is a good time for you to just sit in this moment in Dallas, Texas, and enjoy the moment because you're in a pretty good place. And now let's work hard and let's be diligent and frugal with the money that's in the budget so we can pay extra on that mortgage and we can put our 15% away, put the money towards retirement, put the money away towards the kids' college and all of that. So, special version of the Ramsey Show today celebrating 30 years. George Camel on for these two segments to celebrate that, and we will change out his seat coming out of the next break. So we'll do that. George, thanks for joining me on the opening segment for this.
I'll be back. You know it.
Absolutely. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, joins me on the Ramsey Show today as we celebrate 30 years on the air in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. James and Rachel are with us. Hey, guys, what's up?
Oh,
Hi.
Where do y'all live?
Temple, Texas.
All right.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
to Nashville.
Yeah,
Good
great
to
to
have
be
y'all.
here.
So how much debt have you paid off?
We paid off $148,000 in 5 years.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
From 60 to 140, back down to 100.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
So,
I am currently a manager of a coffee shop, and he gets to stay home with our kids.
yeah.
All right.
I also freelance. I do personal training, and I officiate sports on the side, so it's great.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
We switched roles throughout this process.
Yeah.
That'll work. Good for you guys. And the debt, $148,000. What was that?
So we had student loans, car payments, Best Buy, Home Depot, Target, the liquor store. No, I'm just kidding. No, and then we paid off our house in May.
Whoa!
So we finished it up. Yes, sir.
House and everything.
Yes,
Looking at
absolutely.
weird people. Way to go, you guys. So you
Yeah.
went from normal to weird.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Dramatically.
Yes.
Well done. Over 5 years. That's a bit of a trek.
It was.
It was.
So tell us the story. How did you get started on this Ramsey way?
So we have a two-part to this story. I was just a night, and Rachel went to the church for a ladies' night. What were you doing? I can't
Just a ladies'
remember.
coffee night.
And I just had a vulnerable moment. I started reading a book, and my wife wanted me to read more, so I thought I was going to be intimate, just start reading. And I actually was reading a Shawn Michaels book, and he was talking about retirement and then going back to church, and then his realization about tithing and how, man, that's where do you get that money from when you're not tithing? And that was where our vulnerable part was we used to be pastors, and then we got to the part with our 4 boys where money just went everywhere except where it was supposed to go. And as she came home, I was in tears and shambles, and she just said, what's going on? What happened? And I just said, we're not doing the right thing. We're not tithing. And she, ironically, that night, she said, well, I have a solution. There's a Dave Ramsey thing at the church. And we said, what it is? And she said, it's to get you out of debt. And I said, well, how much is it? She said, it's $100. And I said, it's a scam. It's a get rich
Automatically.
quick. It's
Automatically,
a scam.
it's a
I was like,
scam.
we don't even have $100, and then you can't borrow it. You got to pay $100. But I said, I'll tell you what, I'm a rule follower. So I will do this, and I'm going to show you this is a scam. I'm going to follow it to the T. And she didn't know that was about to happen, and it went crazy after that. So
Good.
not a scam.
So how far in did you get before you figured out it wasn't a scam? Because that's exactly, by the way, what I would have said.
Right.
I would have said, this guy's a snake oil salesman.
The very first we signed up for the course, and it was the very first that very first day, and I said I'm in, because it was just a lot of the things that you said, it made sense, and it resonated in my heart. And I thought, man, I needed somebody to take over what I wasn't doing right.
So once you start hearing the teaching,
Yes.
then you start realizing, okay, this is lined up with Scripture. It's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything was there.
So the tithe kind of dropped in your lap that night, and that's kind of what got your wheels turning. Rachel, how were you feeling when it kind of came to like just the money situation overall before you guys started this process? Were you at a point that you were stressed, or were you worried about money? Like, was this a point that when he said, we got to figure this topic out, that you felt relief, or was it the first time you thought, oh gosh, maybe we should? Kind of where were you in that story?
I think the tithe was the biggest part for me because I had grown up in the church, and I grew up that was a part of the understanding of being a good steward of your money is also tithing to the church. But when we stepped away from being pastors, we stepped away from a few things that just were traditional for me. And when he decided that we needed to be tithing again, it was a huge weight lifted off for me. It just felt like I was stepping back into something that I knew was right for us. And as far as our finances go, as long as you gave me a grocery budget, I'm fine. I just want to be able to buy food for the kids.
Yep.
From there, I just let him take control, and we did it together, and it was so much relief.
Yeah, and I want to say about Rachel that, she shared with me, man, this has just been a huge weight. And I thought, why did you never say anything before? I didn't know this bothered you. And she said, because it's God's point to tell you, it's not mine. And if I would have told you, you wouldn't have listened, and you needed to hear it from God. And I don't know how long she'd been holding on to that, but it hurt to hear that, but it made me feel good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah, and because when she did bring home a class, it was a scam.
Oh, yeah. I'm a 6 on the Enneagram, so I have a hard time with trust.
Totally.
And I'm a 4, so I'm like, it's fine.
It's all a scam. People are trying to hurt you.
I completely get it.
So-
People often say that, and they say, I hope I don't offend you. It doesn't offend me, because that's exactly what I would have said.
Yes.
This guy, he wants $100 to show me how to handle his money.
Right.
That's great. Yeah, I don't think so.
And we had a second part to that. So once that first 38,000, we did it in 8 months, and we were going great. And then life happens. 4 boys, braces for everyone, cars, more light bulbs back in the house, and it took a while. Well, 3 years ago, I had 2 heart attacks.
Oh
wow.
In a week. And unfortunately, at the same time, don't cry, but I was in the hospital, and we lost her dad in that same week.
Oh my gosh.
And I just realized, like, this was it. And I remember hearing a lot of your stories through your program, and just, what do you leave behind? What do you leave? Yeah, you can leave all these things, but it scared me. So we buckled down, and we took 6 months to go back into getting into that Gazelle, and we paid off $100,000 in the last 24 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Knocked the house out.
Oh, yes.
What's the house worth?
We bought it for $120. 10 years ago, it's worth just over $300,000 now.
Phenomenal.
That's awesome.
And how much you guys got in retirement savings?
Right now, retirement, we have $52,000.
Right, great. You're approaching $500,000 then.
And then,
Well
yes,
done.
I don't know. We're excited
Yeah,
about
good.
that.
You're on your way. Good stuff. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. Now that you've done it all, what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is? House and everything. By what age?
41.
I turned 40 in a couple of days.
All right. Happy birthday.
Yes. I do. We were talking about this on the way here on the drive, and I said, I do think that the key is really just putting blinders on. It's so easy to look at what other people are doing, especially at the age we are. It's so easy to see that other people have, that other people want, that other people buy. And it's very important to put your blinders on, make a commitment to your family, and just move forward with that.
Right.
And then in addition to that, James added,
Well, of course, all the budget and things, but to me, the most important thing is that I realized through your program, this is not my money. And I go back every time you say, how long would it take for you to fire yourself if you were managing your family and I was not taking care of my family and I should have been fired? And so when you realize that it's not yours, even the money after the tithe and after the 15%, all the money that you still have is not for you. And I believe in the ministry of availability. And if you don't take care of your stuff, you'll never take care of anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to borrow from a credit card to go help somebody pay for groceries. That's not responsible. And so...
Yeah. Way to go, you guys.
We're excited.
Beautifully done. Well done.
Thanks.
So
All right,
good.
bring the kiddos up and give us their
yeah.
names and ages.
You want to introduce them?
yes. So our oldest...
Hold on. We have to tell you real quick while they're coming up. So what they have is rings. We got them included. I wanted to tell this in case people have kids. We did our own little thing. With their ages, we didn't know that they understood the concept of paying off debt. So we made rings, and we had it drooped all over the house.
Yeah.
And if you see on the pictures,
The chain.
they cut down rings. Each ring represented a certain amount of money. And also as a twofold, during the house payoff, any money that they invested, they paid the house off. They helped. And every bit of money until the house was paid off, we returned 50% of their money back to them.
Wow.
So when the house was paid off, they cashed in tremendously. We had one that was really dialed in.
I love it.
We went. I think we went broke that first month. There was no celebration.
Okay, I'm running out of time. Right quick, what are their names?
This is Reese. This is Kian. This is Liam. This is Link.
Way to go, guys. Hey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires, Total Money Makeover, and a 1-year membership to Financial Peace. You can enjoy those, give them away. Congratulations. We're very proud of y'all. Very, very well done. All right, James and Rachel and the guys from Temple, Texas, $148,000 paid off in 5 years, making 60 to 140 to 100. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
You guys ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! Those chains are broken. I like it. This is the Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, is my co-host for a couple segments here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. So we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Ramsey Show. So, Rachel, you would have been how old when we go on there in 1992? 4 years old?
Yes, 4 years old. Yep.
Daniel was
I forget
born
my age.
Yeah,
I turned 30.
Daniel was born that year. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I turned 34 this year, but I had told everyone I was 32. I thought I was 32. So when I turned 34, I thought I was turning 33, and I wasn't. I missed a whole. I literally missed a whole year.
Just gave it up. Yeah.
So when you ask, I have to really think about it.
So
but
do you, at 4 years old, do you have any memories? What are your earliest memories of this show?
I remember having to pick you up down at Opryland, which was it felt like a very far drive from our house. And there was a little white building before you got into Opryland, and we had to pick you up there at 4 p.m. if we were like going to grandparents' houses or something on the way out.
Okay,
so I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, you would have been 6 by then.
Yes, so those are probably
the first 2 years we were in downtown Nashville. So
don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
And then when you guys moved offices and you had and Blake was there, but the first in studio. In the office, and I remember that, and you weren't allowed to talk down that hallway. So whenever we worked in the summers, you couldn't talk because it wasn't soundproof.
Yeah, we took an old closet in the office and turned it into a studio. It was connected to another closet, busted a hole through, and put the control stuff in there. But none of it was soundproof. So people would walk down the hall of the office and be talking. It would go over the air. And so we put up crime scene tape that was yellow and put signs up, no talking in this end. So Rachel's exactly right. There was no talking allowed from 1 to 4 in the afternoon in that end of the office because our first studio that we built. So we didn't have to drive across town to Opryland at the WTN studios to do the thing. At least we didn't have to drive. But it was pretty cheap and pretty thrown together. But that was our first studio. We paid cash for it. Everything as we've gone along. So there we go. Chris is with us. Chris is in Winston-Salem. Hi, Chris. How can we help?
Hi. How are you?
Great. What's up?
My husband and I have been married for 45 years. We really did the Larry Burkett principles when we first got married, and then we followed you. So we're in good shape financially, but this is our concern. My husband, the best laid plans. My husband has a chronic disease, and so he's had to move to an assisted living facility. And we were doing okay when he was in assisted living, but now he's gone to a nursing. He's had to go in the same institution. He's had to go to a full-time nursing care, and this is costing us $12,000 a month. We are still married, of course, and I still have a mortgage. We're debt-free from everything except the mortgage, and there's a reason for that. But my fear is that this $12,000 a month, that I'm afraid there's not going to be enough left for me to live on. Is there a way for me, without us getting a divorce, is there a way to sort of protect my income and my my financial
how large
interest
is your
here while
nest
still
egg?
paying bills for him?
How large is your nest egg?
Probably $1 million.
Okay. All right. What is the nature of his medical condition? What has he got?
Well, he's undergone so many medical treatments. He was originally diagnosed with polyneuropathy, and then he had a spinal surgery for that, and from that he had a stroke, and so things have just kind of gotten worse and worse.
Okay.
And he's only 74. I don't think anything that he has, from what I understand, nothing is going to kill him. It's just that, he just needs help. He just needs nursing care. So, and this is not something you ever think that you're going to have to deal with, so.
Well, it's deteriorated. You're saying his health is deteriorating due to these multiple conditions, but there's not a singular diagnosis. Something's going to kill all of us, obviously, but there's not a singular diagnosis here. Okay.
Right.
So if you go through 2 more years of this, that's $300K of your $1 million.
Yeah.
If you go through 3 years, it's $450.
And Dave, I'm okay with paying his bill. I'm afraid that if he lives another 20 years,
He's not.
I don't know.
Do you think he is?
But
I'm not wishing him dead. I'm just saying.
I think 10 probably.
Okay. All right.
And that scares me. This is a terrible way to be, but
No, it's not terrible. It's practical. He would want you to do this. He probably does want you. Y'all can talk about it. You probably do want to do this. So, the other thing is, I'm going shopping because the average nursing home bill in America is more like 75, not 150. So, and Winston-Salem shouldn't be double the national average. Now,
he's at a really nice place.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's been there for 6 years. He's been there for 6 years, and he loves it. And
yeah, but it was assisted living before, and it wasn't as expensive.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think if he's going to need full care, you may need to move to a different place. Because if we knock $50,000 off of this bill, that changes the equation considerably.
Okay.
Now, what's your home worth?
About $830.
And you owe what?
$200.
Why?
Well, okay. I'll tell you this. We had long discussions about this because my husband is a retired minister and he gets a housing allowance. And this is the one thing that he says. He thinks, I even think Dave Ramsey would agree.
No, Dave Ramsey doesn't, because you can get a housing allowance even without a mortgage.
Oh, okay.
You need to go see a different tax person. Your tax person doesn't know how to do housing allowances. You can take the HUD median rent plus any other costs that are involved as a minister without, when you're getting a housing allowance, without taxes, without having a house payment. You do not have to have a house payment to have a housing allowance tax deductible as a.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So that's a mythology that runs all through the ministry. I'm so sorry you're facing this, honey. Y'all have worked so hard. You've done such a good job because you're millionaires.
Yeah.
You're millionaires, and obviously, did you have long-term care insurance?
No, because he couldn't get it because he was diagnosed with this neuropathy back when we were looking at this.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think you need to manage your costs. For $150 a year, I think you could do in-home care cheaper. Hire somebody full-time inside the house.
That's what I was going to ask, Chris. Is that an option?
Oh, I don't know. That scares me to death to think about that.
I didn't ask you to do it. I said full-time.
I don't know. We haven't talked about that. We'd have to look into it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can staff somebody 24/7 cheaper than $150,000.
Okay.
And use your house, and bring in a hospital bed into the spare bedroom on the first floor, whatever's involved in the ambulatory issues and so forth. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas because that's all I'm here for. I'm useless, but except for that. But I'm so sorry. But I do think the 144 is not sustainable. And so I think you do need to change something there. Just riding that horse and, off into the sunset is not a good plan. Because if he does live 10 years, you got a problem.
Yeah.
At that rate. That's $1.4 million.
And how much does I know they couldn't get long-term care insurance because of his specific diagnosis when they were looking, but in general, how much does it cover for?
It would cover about 3 years of coverage because the average nursing home stay is like 2.8 years.
Yeah.
Most people don't live. Once you go to a fully assisted nursing home. That's why I was asking not to be cold and not to wish bad things on the man for certain. No, our husband of 45 years, I don't want him to head off to heaven too soon. I'm not after that. That's not my point. But we're trying to do a math analysis around this. And the only and one of the pieces of the equation is date of death. I mean, you're trying to figure out, how long is she got to support this mathematically? Because 2 years is not a problem.
That's a lot.
5 years starts to be a problem.
Yep. Before I head out, because I'm done now on the show today, congratulations on 30 years. A lot of hard work.
Thank you.
Helped a lot of people. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Proud of you. Proud of you for joining in on this. It's been a good run.
Yes.
This is a 30-year anniversary of The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual relationships, amazing relationships that work. Dr. John Deloney helps us do that in particular on his show. The Dr. John Deloney Show is my co-host this half hour. We're interchanging our co-hosts all throughout the day as we celebrate our 30th year on the air of The Ramsey Show. 30 years we've been rocking this, and lots of changes, lots of failures over the years. The only thing I told an earlier group that we have not done, we have not quit. But we have failed our way. As my friend John Maxwell wrote a wonderful book, John, called Failing Forward. And that's kind of what we've done. So
sounds like my dating life in high school. Well, that didn't work.
Turned out well for you, though, because you ended up with Sheila. I mean, I don't know what your technique was, but you got there.
Just don't quit, Dave. Never quit. Never give up. Never give up.
A Winston Churchill.
That's right.
I'll never quit. So, if you didn't know, folks, on YouTube, we are dropping we did a 30th anniversary panel, which was all of us, the Ramsey personalities, sitting around talking about the show, the history of the show, the fun things, the sad things, all the reasons the show works, all of that kind of stuff. And we've done a series of video episodes. They'll drop one each day, including the first one drops today on YouTube. So the 30th anniversary panel, check out the video episodes of The Ramsey Show on YouTube beginning today. And as I said, one each day of this week will drop. That was a lot of fun to do that.
Yeah, that was fun. It was cool just to hear about the heritage of the show, right? And where it all came from, and it's cool to hear the purpose behind it, and just from the business side, you particularly, just you, Dave, could have walked away with a chunk of money for you, and the vision for this has always been about helping since we got this thing off the ground, and it's just cool to be able to ride on that bus now.
Yeah, a lot of folks in talk radio 10, 15 years ago were selling out.
Yeah.
And not selling out in a bad way. I mean, they were selling their shows to the the iHearts of the world or the Westwood Ones of the world, those kinds of things. And Dr. Laura, I think, was the first. She sold hers for $78 million, and she was a little bit larger than we were in those days. And that was many years ago. That was 20 years ago. And which made you go, 78 million? Huh.
Exactly.
But then we just go back to, okay, we don't really own this. We're managing it for God, and we're just here to make sure that we're taking care of His folk, taking care of people out there. And so it's turned out financially and business-wise also to be a good move to continue to own it, because we make more on the show in ad revenues and other things than we would have gotten, in 1 year. So it's worked out okay because we've continued to grow the show too. So, but it's
pretty cool, man.
Interesting ride. A lot of changes in technology. We're getting ready. All of us just got ear molds made. We're going to go back to the old freestanding microphones again and drop the sports headsets soon. Been in the sports headsets for a while.
Yeah.
So we're going to see another look on that change.
I feel like I work at NASA. I didn't know we were doing that, James. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know, few months, few weeks, whatever. Get all that equipment in and get it all tested out and everything. But it's a lot of radio people have been making fun of my sports headsets for years, but they did well because I don't get off mic that way when I turn my head, and I'm ADD and distracted. So. But it keeps the broadcast quality because it's all audio, except for those of you watching on YouTube anyway. So there we go. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Maria is in Norfolk, Virginia. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for taking my call. My husband thanks you as well. You have changed our lives in ways that we can't even imagine. And I'm calling because we're stuck in a situation, and I kind of already know the answer, but we're not sure how to go about it. We have a relative that has been sending us silver coins, and we don't think they're worth very much, but she claims that they're going to be worth a whole lot of money in the future. We would like to not have them anymore, I guess, or maybe we just want to invest in other ways, and she's not understanding that. But how would you go about approaching her on this scenario? Because she's taking a very strong stance on it.
Who is this? His mother? His mother?
Yes, it is. My mother-in-law. Yeah.
That was fairly easy to guess.
So talk me out of this, because I've taken calls on my show about mother-in-laws who just keep showing up, mother-in-laws who criticize parenting, mother-in-laws who all sorts of things that are very disruptive. It sounds like your mother-in-law just mails a bag of coins.
No, it actually isn't.
Okay.
She's not very good financially to begin with.
That was easy to guess.
And we have quite a bit of problems with that. And my husband and I are the exact opposite. We almost have our business entirely paid for, our homes paid for.
So how much is the value of the coins she's sending you a year?
Well, when I found a coin place that was local today, there may be a $24 worth. They're just silver.
So what does it matter?
Right, and that's what we keep saying.
No, I mean, just throw them in a bucket in the bottom of the garage and forget it.
Okay.
If you throw $24 out the window of your car on the way to church, and that makes your mother-in-law happy,
well, that's $24 well spent. That's a great purchase. Well, is it bigger? Are you worried about how that she's slowly ruining herself financially, and she's going to be moving in with you guys? Is that what this is ultimately about?
No. Well, the thing is we would be the only ones that would be financially able to even care for her, and would have a home that would suit her needs come that time frame.
Do you think she's paying $2,000 for $24 worth of coins?
I do, honestly, and so does my husband. We wouldn't be surprised. She's very naive in that aspect. She just lives off Social Security as far as we know.
Yeah, I think your husband, not you. You don't need to even be in the conversation. You'll be the wicked stepdaughter in this scenario.
I already am.
Yeah. we can add layers to that with this conversation. So I think he just says, Mom, I'm worried about you. How much do you pay for these coins? Because I checked it out and they're worth $24.
Right.
And just see what she says. And just out of act of love to her. As far as you all are concerned, I would throw them in a bag in the bottom, seriously, in a bucket in the garage and not worry about it. I wouldn't upset
That's
somebody
kind
for
of what we've
$24.
done.
I wouldn't upset
Right.
somebody for $24.
And I think I think the coins are a proxy for a bigger conversation, which is, are we going to let her come live here? And if so, what's that going to cost us? What things, kind of like, are we going to send our kid to college in 5 years? What do we have to start doing right now to either lay the groundwork, you're not coming here, or to make it a reality? And it's easy to focus on the coins, but it sounds like there's a much bigger picture at play.
Yeah, she's using this as leverage. It's a future. It's the
This is a symbol
camel's nose under the tent
of a bigger frustration.
Yeah,
That's
you're
right.
getting ready to get. It's getting ready to be a big deal here soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not $24. If she's paying $25 and you're getting $24 worth, I wouldn't worry about it. But if she's paying $2,000, then that's just your husband stopping her from getting ripped off.
That's right.
This is the Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, celebrating today with us here on the Ramsey Show. 30 years on the air. Vanessa is with us in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, Vanessa. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. I'm such a fan. They asked me to talk quick. So,
Okay.
But I just want to say hi and thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. How can we help?
Yes, I have a question about Roth IRA. Currently, I have a Roth IRA that's in a very high fee that my husband left me, I think, about 8 years, and I want to move it to a index fund that is low cost, low maintenance, and that's what I want to do. And I want to ask you, when should I do that? Now that the market is low, or do I wait a couple of years?
Doesn't matter. You can do it whenever.
It doesn't.
I want you to be sure what you're doing. You need to sit down maybe with one of our SmartVestor pros and have them discuss this with you and teach you about it, because you've been reading something about fee mutual funds are evil and no-load mutual funds means no fees, and that's not true. No-load mutual funds have fees too, including index funds. They're annual maintenance fees, and the annual maintenance fees are higher on those typically than they are on commissioned funds, and sometimes so much so that they make you wish you'd paid a commission mathematically. So that may not be true with yours. I don't know. I own some of each. I have some index funds and I have some mutual funds that are not index funds that have a commission charge to them. You can set the commission charges up to be what are called A shares, which is generally what I do up front. You pay your commission, or you can do managed funds, which is where the broker that helps you with this, like a SmartVestor Pro, would charge like 1% a year, and you can have any mutual fund you want inside of there then. And the fees are done away with then, other than the maintenance fees. The maintenance fees are always there on all funds.
Yeah, it was over $1 million, but now it's down to $850K.
Yeah,
and so
but
I'm not going to touch
that's not
it.
due
I
to
just
fees.
It's not due to the fees. Of course, the market.
If it was if it was $1 million in January, an index fund would be at $850 right now.
Oh, okay.
The market's down 15%. That every million has turned into 850 this year so far. It'll come back, but that's not due to it being a bad fund necessarily. If it was down to 600, I might be wondering what the flip's going on. But it sounds like you're paralleling the market about anyway. I mean, just look up and see what the S&P 500 is down since January 1. You can Google it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's right around 15 to 16%, something like that. And that would put you at 850. 15% off a million's 150. So, that puts you there. I would sit down and study what it is that you're trying to do and make sure you're actually doing it. Meaning, are you getting away from the fees after all that you think you are, or are you gaining stability that you think you're gaining by going to an index fund? Because some of these articles that are out there make it sound like index funds fix the whole world, and they don't fix the whole world. You're still index fund, S&P 500 fund follows the market exactly. It is the market. And so if the market's down 15%, you're going to be down 15%. And if you're in a mutual fund that outperforms the market a little bit, you might be down 14%. Which my portfolio is primarily non-index funds, and it's not down as much as the market is, and it's generally, when the market is up, it's generally up more than the market is, so it outperforms the market, meaning it beats the S&P, and I don't pay a huge bunch of extra fees that offset that for it.
You know what helped me in a situation like this, because it sounds like she's trying to make this a math problem, but it sounds like she's watched $150,000 evaporate.
Yeah.
And when our body gets stressed, we've all heard this, fight or flight. Those are action-oriented responses. I got to go do something. I got to start swinging at something. I got to get out of here. And the real discipline here is to be still. And that's hard because our bodies are designed to go do a thing. And I got to move it from here. I got to move it to over here and here and over here. Just be still. Be still. And that's hard to do.
Yeah, Sharon and I were hiking in Montana. And they've got all these bear signs up everywhere, and you're supposed to carry bear spray or something stronger, which is what I would prefer, and all this stuff. And so we're walking up through there, and then there's this like epistle on a sign of what to do if a bear comes. And I honestly didn't know this. I've been out in the woods all my life, but apparently stand very still.
Yeah.
Which is really counterintuitive if there's a big freaking bear in front of you. By the way, it is a bear market we're talking about, so standing real still, the metaphor works here pretty good. But
or if you and I are hiking, the old thing.
Yeah, who can outrun?
I don't have to outrun the bear.
I just got to outrun you.
I got to outrun Dave.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, one guy sits down, starts putting on his tennis shoes. What are you doing? I don't have to outrun the bear. You can outrun that bear. You're right. I got to outrun you.
That's right. But yeah, just be still. Be still. And that's so hard, man. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's
just how we're wired.
But I think but don't be still out of ignorance either.
It's about out of awareness.
Go ahead and sit down and learn what is the proper technique in the middle of this kind of world that we're in today. And the proper technique in general is just stay invested.
Yeah.
But if you're moving from one mutual fund to another mutual fund, they're both down. That's a net zero, deal. So you're going from one that sucks to down 15% to another one that's down 15%. And you like it better. That's a net zero. You're not really losing anything on that. Pulling your money out of the market while it's down, it's pretty much locking in and guaranteeing that you're going to lose your butt.
That's right.
You lost the 150 because it's going to jump back up maybe next year or maybe shortly after that. I don't know. Whenever Biden gets through screwing around with this stuff, or whoever it is, the dadgum Fed or whoever else is monkeying around with this deal. But as soon as it starts moving again, it takes off again, because it always does, then you're going to be standing there 150,000 poorer.
Right.
So you don't want to jump out and stay out. This timing the market will get you killed. Yep. But in this case, yeah, I would stick with it. So you get some advice, learn about it, think about what you're doing. Hey, folks, have you ever noticed that when you commit to change one area of your life, it's easier to make progress in all the others? Like if you decide you're going to be out of debt and build wealth, you lose 50 pounds and you find a career you love and you start overcoming stress and anxiety. They do all work together, and that's why we put them all together in subjects in a day-long event called the SMART Conference. Maybe you'll have a SMART plan when you're done. It's going to be in Dallas, Texas on Saturday, October 22nd. Thought leaders in every space, the top thinkers, writers, number one best-selling authors in every area. Dr. John Deloney to my right this year will be speaking in the area of mental wellness, all about, what are you talking about this year?
Loneliness.
Loneliness.
Yeah.
dealing with loneliness. Rachel Cruz, my daughter, will be speaking on money. Ken Coleman be there speaking on career. Amy and Craig Groeschel, pastors from Life Church in Oklahoma City, will be speaking on marriage. George Camel, Ramsey personality, will be there speaking. Christina Ellis will be making her debut on the stage. I'll be there speaking. So we're talking leadership, relationships, money, career, everything, and all day long, and you're going to learn a lot. It's only $35 because all the VIPs and Platinums are sold out. You can still get a ticket. There's less than 1,000 left. They're going really fast. We're scheduled for an early sellout on this. October 22nd, Dallas, Texas. And, of course, we'd love to have you there. So jump in and get this done. Our question of the day comes from Blinds. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events. Question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds free.
Today's question comes from Wendy in Oklahoma. Wendy writes, I use a debit card for all my day-to-day purchases like groceries, gas, restaurants. When I purchase plane tickets, Amazon items, or anything else online, I pay with a credit card. Someone told me you can dispute a purchase easier with a credit card than a debit card. Are you putting your checking account at risk by using a debit card for such purchases? Someone
Is a lousy financial advisor. Don't listen to they said not heard. That's a financial planning firm you don't want to work with. Okay, this is normal people. Debit card has the exact same protections for fraud that a credit card does. It does come out of your checking account, and the bank has to put it back once you dispute it and prove the dispute. That might take a day or two, but I've been carrying a debit card for years. I hadn't had a credit card in 25 years, 30 years. And so, pretty easy here. I'm going to use a debit card. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, steps into the studio as a co-host. We're alternating all the Ramsey personalities as co-host all through the 3 hours of the show today to celebrate the 30th anniversary of The Ramsey Show. It's The Ramsey Show's birthday. One of the other things we did to celebrate it was we all sat down and all the Ramsey personalities and had a great discussion about what we love about the show, old times, new times, fun times, sad times, everything. And so we have the 30th anniversary panel, we'll call it, and we're dropping a YouTube episode today on that, and a new one tomorrow, and a new one the next day, a new one every day this week. And so a little bit of a series here of episodes on the history and the behind the scenes of the Ramsey Show. Be sure and join in. That was fun to do, wasn't it?
That was so fun. We had such a blast that day.
We're kind of laughing and cutting up a little too much. I wonder if they edited a bunch of that out.
I feel like they probably would. Somebody was like, "Are y'all going to do the show today together?" And I was like,
no, not all of us. That'd be a train wreck. But yeah, I mean, we're bad enough when there's just two of us in here. But, yeah.
It gets very loud, very fast.
Yeah, lots of disagreements. Oh, it's a lot of fun. On the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Patrick and Molly are with us. Hey guys, how are you?
Thank you.
Welcome. One more time, say it. We had your mics down.
Better than we deserve.
Yeah. Good to have you. Where do you guys live?
We're outside of D.C.
Oh,
place St. Mary Counties.
Yeah. Welcome to Nashville. Good to have you down here. And down here to do a debt-free scream, of course, and you happen to be here on the 30th celebration. How much debt did you guys pay off?
$40,000 $534.
Excellent. And how long did this take you?
So it took us about 22 months, but we weren't Gonzell and Test the whole way. We were, Dave-ish every so often.
Mm-hmm. In and out. Well, that's kind of normal, I guess.
Yeah.
We won't tell anybody, but I'm afraid some other people might do that. I don't know. And your range of income during the 22 months?
30 to 34,000.
Wow.
Now up to 95,000.
Yo! What do y'all do for a living?
So I work for a government contractor as like an IT specialist.
And I'm a bank teller.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the IT business got better, or one of you got a job that didn't have a job, or what happened?
Yeah, so I got a job offer. We moved, and then she got a job shortly after.
Ah, cool. How old are you two?
I'm 26.
Mm-hmm.
I'm freshly 25.
Awesome. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And how long y'all been married?
This year, in October, will be 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so about the time you get married, you look up and say, we need to do this get out of debt thing. Tell us your story. How did you discover the Ramsey way?
Well, in 2011, my dad, he was a pastor at a church, and he decided to do the Financial Peace University. And, of course, they were doing that. And, of course, I always listened to the show all the time when I was young. And
So you were like a teenager.
yeah, I back in, like, middle school, I guess it was.
14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is definitely familiar for me. And then, when we were getting married, my dad said that he wanted us to do the whole program together and make sure that we were good financially. So, yeah.
So, Patrick, you're going to marry a pastor's daughter, and the pastor says you're going to Financial Peace University.
Basically, yeah, that was
Condition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But that way she doesn't end up back in my basement. Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So what did this journey look like for y'all? What was the hardest part, and just how did you get completely all in on this?
I think the hardest part was, so when we first started, we really, back in November 2020, I left a full-time job to move over to her area, was working 2 part-time jobs. She had a full-time job, and we basically, after 4 months, I got told that both my jobs, they were cutting hours.
Whoa.
And we kind of had to make hard decisions, and went to the landlords like, is there anything you guys could help us out with? And started just freaking out because I didn't know what we were going to do. I kind of felt like I failed us. And then out of like the grace of God, on the way of going to one of my jobs, I had a person call for a interview that I did not even know I applied for. And it was over in the area that I'm from. That was 3 hours away. And so I went, I got the job. And, my dad is one of the reasons why we're out of debt. He let us stay with him in his house. And, through that time, we were able to actually pay off debt and focus on a lot of other things. And it really is just, her dad, my dad, they're both really great people in our life.
That's incredible.
Very good. Good stuff, you guys. Well done. Well done. I bet both of them are cheering you on.
Well, my dad actually passed away in 2019.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, he is cheering you on from heaven.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I feel right now.
Yeah.
Feel his legacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he would be nerding out right now completely. If you watch him like, I'm the dad, I'd be like, I'm watching you.
Yeah.
Well, and what a way to honor him. Like
Absolutely.
The fact that you're here, the fact that you were listening back in 2011 with him, that's incredible.
And that's one of the things that really propelled me is the fact that, he asked me, that was one thing that he really wanted to make sure that we stayed on, and I felt like that's what I needed to do, and just started to just really focus in on that.
That's powerful.
Yeah, Patrick, you're a man of honor. You're a good man. That's good stuff. Well done. Very well done, you two. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Good moves. How does it feel to be free?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. We haven't been on family vacations since our honeymoon, so this is like our first time out.
And even then, it was during COVID, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a lot nicer.
Horrible honeymoon. Oh, they make you stay inside and everything. What a horrible honeymoon. You guys are fun. Way to go. Very cool.
Y'all are young, and you were newlyweds when you started this journey. Did you guys have some people around you who thought you were kind of crazy?
Yeah, definitely. We had, so my family's not familiar to this at all.
Yeah, my family has already been through the whole program and everything, so they were like, yay!
Yeah, so it was, my family was a little skeptical. Like, they were just like, I don't know, really, should you really be doing that, especially when it came to the student loan stuff? And we just really, so we finished paying that off back in August, right, the Sunday right before Biden did his whole thing. And everyone's like, oh, are you guys going to request the money back? And I feel like I told her, and she agreed with me, is that we got out of this ourselves. We didn't need anyone else's help, nothing, just us putting in the hard work to make sure we got out of it.
We're so proud of you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think I said it a while ago. You're a man of honor. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. The value system that you two are carrying is going to take you a long, long way. Very well done. Very, very well done. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. What advice do you have to somebody that needs to pay off $41,000 and they're making $30,000?
Stay gazelle intense.
Yeah,
that's for
I'd
sure.
have to say it's just, you might think there's nothing else you can do, but there's always something else you can do.
Live like no one else. Yep.
Yeah.
So that later and now you can live and give like no one else.
Exactly.
You're going to be so wealthy, it's going to be unbelievable. Wow. Hey, we got a copy of the Baby Steps Millionaires book for you. And speaking of that, that's the next chapter in your story to become Baby Steps Millionaires. And a Financial Peace University 1-year membership. Maybe a naysaying family member needs to go, and you can give it to them. I don't know. Same with the Total Money Makeover book we'll give you. Maybe you can give it away, too. So good stuff, you guys. You're a neat couple. Very, very, very well done. All right, Patrick and Molly, heroes from the Washington, D.C. area, $41,000 paid off in 22 months, making 30 to 34. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! I love it. Way to go, you two. Way to go. Very cool.
Well, Dave, congratulations on 30 years of those stories.
They're good stories. Doesn't get old. Doesn't feel like 30 years when you hear that every day. This is The Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Celebrating this week the 30th anniversary of The Ramsey Show. Originally started out called The Money Game. Then we converted it to The Dave Ramsey Show. And then when it wasn't just Dave Ramsey, we had all the Ramsey personalities starting to be co-hosts with us. About 18 months ago, I guess it is now, we changed it to The Ramsey Show. Hardly anyone noticed when we did that, but that's okay. It's a good thing. No complaints anyway, because we've got all these bright and beautiful people to help us as co-hosts now. So here we go. Chad is with us in Denver, Colorado. Hi, Chad. How are you?
Hey, great. Thanks for all you guys do, and happy birthday.
Well, thanks. What's up?
So I was just accepted to a specialty residency program in my field, and I just am interested in hearing your thoughts on the best way to make that happen financially. It's across the country in your neck of the woods, and it's a 2-year program. And so our biggest question is, we would love to move back to this area if possible, if I find a job here afterwards. So the big question is, do we rent the house out for those 2 years or go ahead and sell it and to help get through
What's
the program?
What's the specialty?
Endodontics. I'm a dentist, so it'll be specializing in root canals.
Okay. All right.
And you're saying we.
You and your wife?
Yeah, we have 3 boys. I'm good at working on teeth. I'm not a financial guru. So.
Yeah. Okay. And is the specialty the fellowship paid for?
So the total cost for the program for me, it's not paid for, is $80,000. That's not including living. I currently make I gross about $300,000 as a K-1 employee, and have about $60,000 in the bank, $65,000 in IRAs. And then the other thing is,
so you're going to pay cash for this. You got a way to do it.
I would love to do that.
Yeah. Well, you can. I mean, you're just going to concentrate. Now, what's the house worth?
$800,000.
What do you owe on it?
$410,000.
And do you have any other debt?
I have $30,000 in student loans still.
Okay.
And no other consumer debt other than that.
Okay. Other than raising your kids and being a good husband, job one is get this specialty degree completed. Nothing should distract you from those 3 main jobs. Husband, father, finish the degree. No distractions. And this is an academically strenuous field of study, is it not?
Yeah, I'm probably looking at 80 hours a week.
Yeah. You mean you got to not only be pretty smart, you got to have work ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need renters in Denver while you're trying to do this. Talk about a distraction. Sell the house.
Okay.
You wouldn't live in that house after you get this specialty. After you get this specialty, your income's not going to be $300 anymore.
Right.
Even if you move back to Denver, even if you did Denver, and you might not.
Right.
But even if you did Denver, you're not going to live in that house. You're going to be making a lot more money. You're going to get a better house than that.
Yeah. I mean, my wife and I are pretty simple. We kind of like our house. We'd love to be here, but I mean, things do change, right?
Yeah, they do. I would sell that house, and I would rent, and I would keep my life extremely simple, and I would concentrate on being a husband, a dad, and graduating.
Okay.
Debt-free.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you emphasizing those priorities.
Yeah, just the simplicity of life. We forget when we put all these things on our plate that they all, even if they're adding income or financial benefit to our life, they take other things from our life.
Yeah.
Like the more crap I own, the more repairmen I have to know. You know? Like, I was at the lake house this weekend. I got to put the boats up for the winter. I got to get the furniture moved up. And I told the guy helping me move all the furniture, I'm like, all this fun is hard work. I mean, it's just your life is more complicated. The more complicated it is, the more strenuous it is, the more anxiety there is, the more stress there is. And you need to be, when you're in a strenuous field of study for a very intense 2-year period of time, singularly focused. That's what I would do if it was me. I would not want that's a luxury for you to be able to do that. I'd sell the crud out of this house, man. It's just a stupid house.
Well, and I think with the profit that you'll make from the house, with the income you're going to have, while it feels hard to let go of this house now, like Dave said, you're going to be able to get something beautiful once you've graduated too. You'll have peace in the meantime and a beautiful home once you graduate.
Yeah. Pay off your student loan, pay cash for your finish, come out, make a big old pile of money, dude. Just go kill it. Just go pile it up. Just stack cash, man.
Right, you're already killing it.
And then you can live anywhere you want to live. And here's the thing. If you don't have a house in Denver, then you will more evenly evaluate all of your opportunities in other locations. If you had the house in Denver, you'd be kind of like, I'll take that one. I'm not quite as happy with that offer, but I'll go over there because the house is there. And then you have this magnetic pull back to this. It's a house.
Right.
Again, I grew up in the real estate business. There's a house on every corner. They're everywhere.
Well, and even while you're in the program, I just think you'll have so much more peace and freedom on your vacations to go where you want to go. If you've got that house in Denver, you're probably going to want to go back and check on it versus maybe you all go to the beach. Maybe you do something else that's fun. I think it's going to free you up a lot in the meantime.
See, I wasn't even thinking about the beach.
I'm always thinking about the beach, Dave.
There is that with you, Christina. There's that. Yvette is up next. Yvette's in Boston. Hey, Yvette, what's up?
Hi there. Happy anniversary
Thank you.
to the show. Sure. So I've been listening for about 8 months, and I've learned a lot of little tips. I kind of like your last caller. I've been kind of involved in a lot of grants and moving around, for this program, that program, and I feel like I'm really late in the game.
How old are you?
I'm 51.
Oh,
I'm
you're
51.
ancient. I don't know how you're getting around. You decrepit old thing, you.
Appreciate that. It makes me feel better, actually. It could be worse, but I'm embarrassed that, so for retirement, at the moment I am proud of this. I have a little bit over 100,000. Could be much better. At the moment, I'm single. I don't have kids. I'm finally sort of where I want to live. I hope permanently.
What's your income?
And it's pretty decent. It's about 95,000.
Good. What's your debt?
No debt. No debt at all.
Okay.
I've never owned a house. Never owned a condo.
You gonna buy a house?
Feel like first, I'd like to now.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Well,
And
you've been listening to us for 8 months. You've heard us talk about the baby steps, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that would tell us you need to be saving towards a down payment on a house. And when you get the house purchased on a 15-year fixed where the payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay, you got a down payment already?
I do. I have a little bit over 100,000 for that.
Good.
And I kind of feel like I want to. I'm so earnest. I talk about you all the time to my friends. They're really annoyed. But I want so badly to put more than 15% in for retirement to try to catch up.
No, just put 100,000 down on the house. Put 15% aside, and everything above 15% start throwing it at the house. As soon as the house is paid off, then you can up it. You got plenty of time. You're going to have millions of dollars if you follow those baby steps exactly. Millions with an S.
All right. That makes me feel good.
And I love your humble spirit. I love that you're coming in, feeling, a little behind, having questions, but at the same time, don't have shame about where you are. You're doing great and you still have plenty of time.
Yeah, you've got a lot of decades. I mean, what you can pull off in the average millionaire following our stuff pays off their house in 10.2 years, which means some of them do it in 7, which is what you're going to do. And then that gives you the rest of the time to put however much you want, above 15% into retirement. But if you save 15% of 100,000, that's $15,000 a year, and you never get a raise for the entire 20 years, and you pay off your house during that time, your net worth is going to be about $3 million. That's if you're doing that in good mutual funds without a match. You're going to be just fine. You got lots of time, but just lean into those steps and don't let up. Don't let up. Don't slip back into stupid or something, and you'll be just fine. Good stuff. Christina, good half hour.
Thanks for having me. Happy 30th.
Happy 30th to you. Life is good. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones this hour. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, host of the Ken Coleman Show, best-selling author of the book From Paycheck to Purpose, is my co-host today. Special week here on the Ramsey Show. We've had all the Ramsey personalities on with us today at different points being co-hosts because we're celebrating 30 years, the 30-year anniversary of this show starting. Thank you, guys. Some of you have been with us the whole time out there, and both of you we're thankful for.
It's a little bit bigger than that. But this is a special milestone. We were talking about it during the break. Very few people in our world do anything for 30 years. People don't stay in jobs for 30 years anymore. Sadly, we don't see as many 30-year marriages as we used to see. 30 years, 3 decades. That's quite a journey. And what's so great about it is it's just full of the same formula, the same mission. Just helping people get control of their money to be able to change their life. And it's fun as we see new people, new generations coming in and consuming the show differently to see how the show's evolved.
Yeah, and from talk radio to podcast to YouTube to all the different venues and the various people carrying podcasts now all over the place. The fine folks at Amazon Music are carrying us now, Spotify, of course, Apple,
sure.
Google Play, all of them. It's everywhere now. And we appreciate all of you that listen to it, however you consume the show. We appreciate you being there. We all sat down, all the Ramsey personalities, and did the 30th anniversary panel where we all sat and actually cut up.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Told stories. It was a little bit. I'm glad there was someone there to kind of direct the traffic, because you get that bunch of people in a room, it's like trying to nail Jell-O to a tree.
That's true.
But we got through it and filmed an episode, or a series of episodes, that'll be posting on YouTube. The first one posted today. We'll post one every day this week on the 30th anniversary panel, talking about the show and the things we love about doing it, the things we love about you guys out there, and celebrating all of you, of course. And so check out The Ramsey Show. Video episodes, again, popping on YouTube today and every day this week. A new version's dropping, and be sure you check those out. Pretty special production that the team put together.
Yeah, a lot of fun, and we get to share so much about what the show has meant to us as we've seen so much transformation, the small role we get to play in it, some great experiences, some great laughs, a lot of tears. It's a wonderful, wonderful conversation. A lot of fun.
It's a show that actually brings hope in a world where most shows just bring anger.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's plenty to be angry about, no doubt. But we're going to choose to wag more and bark less. And that's what we're here for. So here to help you out. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host this half hour. Mary is in Seattle. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my question is this. My husband passed away in January of this year.
Oh, my.
And
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I have 2 young children who I now I will be having to support them, and I have been a stay-at-home mom for essentially my entire adult life, so I have no real job experience to put on my resume, and facing employment, with childcare costs, a minimum wage job just isn't going to cut it. So I'm trying to put together a plan to establish myself in a career where I can take care of myself and my kids.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
How old are the babies?
They're 3 and 2.
How old was he?
He was 36.
My goodness,
Wow.
what happened?
Suicide.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh,
Thank
my
you.
goodness. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was obviously unexpected.
Yeah, sure. Was there any life insurance involved?
There was a $50,000 policy in my daughter's name that's in a trust until she turns 18.
Who put that in a trust?
The life insurance, he had left it. That was the only insurance he had through his work, and it was in her name. So the insurance automatically put it into that trust because she's a minor. They did say that I'm able to go to court and become the custodian of it, but I'm not sure if I should do that or
You should.
I should just leave
You
it.
should. I think you're getting scammed by the life insurance company.
Okay.
So, the money was left to your daughter. It was not left into a trust. And them sticking it into a trust arbitrarily is way over the top.
Okay, there was no will, so I don't know.
It's not their job. They overstepped their bounds. But anyway, I'm going to deal with that later. But in the meantime, we got to get you working because you got to feed 2 babies, girl.
Yes.
I'm scared with you, and we'll help you.
Do you have any support, any family around you in the immediate area?
I'm in Washington right now. I'm actually in a couple of days moving back down to California to be closer to them.
Okay.
So I'll be close to the emotional, and presence support of my family. I'm not expecting financial support from them.
No, but will they be able to support you in watching the babies during the day? What we're trying to figure out is what are our real costs going to be, and I'm glad you're moving close to family. We're going to need that for a job, by the way. I'll explain that in a second. But will they be able to help with childcare?
I will be about 2 hours away from them.
Ooh,
So it's a little bit better than 20 hours, but as far as day-to-day childcare, I'm going to have to pay someone or figure out something.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on here. What we want to start with is just what you're good at doing. And I know you've not had a long work career, but the fact that it remains you have talent. And whether that's people talent or process type talent, that means details and organizational things, or maybe it's in a creative nature. What you've got to focus on right now is for the long term, what am I talented at? And with some additional training, I can be quite skilled. If we're going to have to make more than minimum wage, which you're going to be able to. So long term, we want to look at talent and skill and what you're going to love to do. Short term, if you can make $20 an hour at Target, which you can, or working, for any big box retailer that's paying really well like that. If we just got to get some income in quickly, we're looking for something in the $20 to $25 an hour range. There's a lot of remote work right now. You're just looking for something that you can do. It's not a function of you have to have all this training. It's I can do this work. But I want to help you, give you a head start. Two things. I'm going to give you a book from Paycheck to Purpose, but I'm going to give you the Get Clear assessment, which is going to give you some real direction. And then I'd love if you'd be willing to schedule you to call me on my show, where I can spend some more time with you and come up with some very specific ideas in that area.
Hey, you hold on. Austin will help you with that. Ramsey's going to walk with you, honey.
Yeah.
We're also going to put you through Financial Peace University so you can learn how to handle money and keep it under control while you're doing this. We'll help you with the career and the money.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. You hold on. Austin will pick up. We're going to give every bit of it to you as our gift. Hold on. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Javier is with us in Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, Javier, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Sure, man. What's up?
So my question is, I'm in baby step 2, and I have about $15,000 in consumer debt. Now, I know baby step 2 is pay off all your debt except for the house. So my question is, should I sell the house to pay off the debt, or should I keep the house and continue paying it off as I have been?
I would keep it unless there's some reason to sell it. Do you like it?
Yeah, I love the house. The only problem is the house is about 20 miles from my current job, so I will need to buy a car. I think there's about $20,000 in equity in the house.
Where'd your car go?
Well, I was living in Colorado the last 2 years, so I didn't really need a car, but now I'm back in Ohio, so I definitely need a car.
Well, I mean, how long have you been in a house that you own 20 miles from work without a car?
So I just came home. I've owned the house for 3 years. I had tenants in there previously, so now that I'm living back in the house, I'm going to need a way to work. So
I see.
I can save for a car. I'm staying with a relative at the moment, closer to my job.
Gotcha. Okay. What do you make?
I net about $3,000 a month.
Okay. And how much debt do you have, not counting the house?
I have about $15,000.
Okay. And do you have any money at all?
I have my emergency fund, and I have about another $700 saved up for a vehicle.
The emergency fund, you mean baby step one, $1,000, or 3 to 6 months?
Just baby step one.
Okay. All right. So you have $1,700 to your name. You make $3,000 a month. And the house is worth what?
I believe it's worth about $120, and I owe $83 on it.
Okay. All right. How much you say you owe? Oh, wait a minute. You haven't got a car yet.
Correct.
What's the other debt already?
So the $13,000 is a credit card consolidation, and I owe another $2,000 on an old title loan.
Okay. So if you had, if you sold the house, you'd probably net, it sounds like $20,000 or so. Right? Let's just call it that for the discussion purposes. If you had $20,000 cash in the middle of your kitchen table right now and you did not own a house, would you go buy that house with it?
I would probably buy that house with it, but I don't think it'd be a bad idea to take 13 of it, pay down that credit card consolidation, and take the rest to buy a vehicle. I just think it's better that I got into the house at 4% versus buying a house today at 6%.
Yeah, but
and also my credit's not as good as it was
6% when
back
you're
then.
broke doesn't matter.
Right.
And right now, I mean, we're sitting here discussing you buying a $700 car.
Right.
How old are you?
26.
Okay. So if you sell the house and you use that to jumpstart your life and solidify your life, and you launch into a career and you launch into a reasonable car and you're 100% debt free and you get on a tight budget and you use all of that to build your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, and then you save a down payment to buy a house 2 years from now, that will be a successful ending. If you sell the house and you screw around for the next 2 years and sort of do this stuff, you're going to end up wishing you'd kept the house.
Right.
But if you want to lean in and do the Financial Peace University stuff hardcore, selling the house will catapult you into wealth more than keeping it will.
Mm-hmm.
You see how I'm doing that?
Yes, sir.
But I mean, you got to use every ounce of the money coming out of this thing to cause your life to be excellent and a solid foundation. And we're living on a tight budget. We're not spending everything we make. We're going to accelerate this career, get the income up, Ken, beyond where it is.
Yeah.
And, let's double your income in the next 4 years.
Yeah, this is not about making things better in the temporary. This is about changing the course of your life. And if it becomes the catalyst for that, absolutely agree. I think it's the right move.
You have to commit to the whole plan,
100%.
The whole process, and go, okay, I'm going to take classes, get certifications. I'm going to change jobs again. I'm going to get the parts of my life that aren't stabilized. I'm going to get plugged into a good church. I'm going to get my life straightened up. I'm going to do everything right. I'm going to be clean as a whistle. I'm going to be working this budget tight. I'm watching what I'm doing. I'm going to be losing weight. I'm going to do everything, man. I'm going to get this whole thing going. And if you use this house money to do all of those things, you will end up a millionaire because of selling the house.
Yeah.
Because you're not driving a freaking $700 car for the next 9 months, making $3,000 driving 20 miles for the opportunity to make no money.
Yeah. And be careful with who you surround yourself. If you sell this house, be careful who you surround yourself with. A lot of broke people giving bad advice and telling you to live it up a little bit. This is about discipline and diligence. Walk our baby step plan out and then diligently stay with it. Don't get too tempted to buy a house after you sell this house. If you got to rent for a while, just walk this thing out, and then you're going to be in really great shape. You'll be ahead of most people your age.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on. We're going to put you through Financial Peace University as our guest to help you do all of that, Javier. Hold on. All right. Mike's in Daytona Beach. Mike, what's up?
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
My situation is as follows. I had lost my job back in COVID. A year later, everything started to go very well, and now I have a salary making more than I've ever made. However, things went to collections during that time period. So now I'm curious, do I pay off what's in collections? I'm not being bothered by any of the collectors. The only debt I have currently is a van, and I owe about $13 on the van. And then I have my rent and internet and what have you.
Yeah. So how much is in collections?
Probably $25,000.
Okay. From what?
consolidation loan and credit cards.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you legitimately owe the money. You just weren't able to pay it at the time.
Correct. Yeah, and I can look. I've looked at my credit report in the past. I saw they were there, but I'm not being hounded.
Yeah.
I've seen they've been charged off and sold to third parties already.
Yeah. Being hounded isn't the issue. You morally owe the money, sir. You took money
Correct.
from someone. You need to give it back to them.
Correct.
Yeah.
But do I focus on those first and just do snowball effect of the smallest to largest? Or just
No, I'd knock out the car. If they're not hounding you, I'd run 2 debt snowballs. Let's run the first one on active debts. Clear the car. Any other debts you have that are active, you're paying payments on, clear all of them. And then I would work a debt snowball on the old dead debts, smallest to largest. Okay. Now, how long has it been since you paid on these?
On the debt collections?
Yes, sir.
Oh, probably 3 months. I went online and I saw which one I owed money to, and I made a phone call, and I negotiated and I settled.
Gotcha. You settled?
But I negotiated and said, hey, I can pay you this much now, and we settled on the payment for the collectors. But there's still more that I owe. I was doing the snowball effect, but then
so you've settled some of them, but there's still some outstanding.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, when you settle them, make sure you get it in writing that they're accepting X amount, whatever the amount agreed on, as settlement in full. Get that in writing, email or otherwise.
Yes, sir. I already have that and printed out.
Good. And hard copy printed out so you don't lose the email later because it will come back to get you. But, yeah, you need to go through and settle the rest of them after you get the car paid off. That's what we're going to do. What are you making now?
Household income monthly after taxes is $13K.
Oh, good Lord. You're going to blow through this in no time. Of course you're going to.
Yes, to give you an idea, we were at $3K, but I had lost my job.
Yeah. Okay. The great news is you got a great new job and you're going to clean up your mess fast. Good.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, go do it, dude. Absolutely. There's no upside to not paying what you owe. A, it's an integrity issue. B, it's a legal issue. C, it's a credit issue. D, did I mention it's an integrity issue and the right thing to do? I think I mentioned that, yeah. Go do that one, yeah. And, it's just going to come back. I mean, these things, it's like a splinter. It eventually will fester and cause you a problem. It's just a matter of whether it's 5 months or 5 years. And so you want this stuff out of your life. When you look in the rearview mirror, you don't want to see headlights. You want to see blue lights. They're coming around and around and around. This is the Ramsey Show. If you haven't heard, we're changing out the Ramsey personalities every few segments today. George Camel, Ramsey personality, in for the last 2 segments of this hour today. Doing that because we wanted you to hear from all of them. We're celebrating this week the 30th anniversary of the Ramsey Show. And be sure and join us on YouTube for the 30th anniversary panel, which is all the Ramsey personalities, including me, all sitting around talking about the show, talking about you, the callers, you, the listeners, and we appreciate you. Be sure and check it out on YouTube. The first episode dropped today. There'll be a new one dropping every day for this week as we take that rather lengthy interview that we did and spread it out over a few days.
Well, over 30 years. I mean, we're lucky to just get 1 hour of tape in that panel.
Well, there you go.
A lot to talk about.
That's it. Exactly. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Elijah and Caitlin are on the debt-free stage. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. Doing good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Where do y'all live?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, you're right here, neighbors.
Yes,
Good,
sir.
Awesome. And all the way from down the road to do your debt-free scream, how much did you pay off?
$112,532.
Way to go. And how long did this take?
36 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
From $65,000 to $180,000.
Wow. Nice jump in 3 years, dude.
Yes, sir.
3 years, you triple your income. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Very cool. What do y'all do for a living?
He originally worked with hospitality, and I was with an attorney, but then
during COVID hit, and we started our own cleaning business.
Your own printing.
Cleaning
business.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
So both of you all in now on the business.
All Yes, sir. in.
And it is working.
It is working.
It is.
Working your tail off and cashing the checks.
Yes, sir.
Way to go, guys. Proud of you. Very cool. Crushing it. Good stuff. All right. What kind of debt was the $113,000?
We had $37,000 in student loans, around $20,000 in credit cards?
Yes.
And then the rest was medical and cars.
Oh, wow. Okay. How long you two been married?
4 years.
Okay. So a year of marriage, you kind of go along normal, and then 3 years ago, 1 year into your marriage, you take off on this. How did all this happen? How did you get started on this on the Ramsey way?
I guess in 2019, well, our parents have always talked about you, and Father Ryan, I took economics with Greg Carson.
No way!
Yes, I love him. And
yeah, you know, Coach Carson started the curriculum. He was the first person to teach it in high schools.
Wow.
And now it's been taught in tens of thousands of high schools. 48% of high schools have taught it in North America, and Greg Carson is a lot of the reason.
The way he teaches it.
Man, he's into it.
He is amazing.
I went up and spoke to their class the other day up at Father Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's awesome. So, yeah, we started there, but we didn't really follow like we should. My mom was always had the envelopes out, had the debt snowball going on. And I was like, I was a little kid. I didn't really know. 2019 hit, and like we said, COVID hit, and we were terrified because he got laid off from his job in hospitality and hotels.
Sure, everything shut down.
Everything. And then my attorney, who I worked for, was like, we're cutting hours. There's just nothing we can do. Sorry. So I was cleaning. We love to clean. He loves to clean. We're OCD. So I was like, you know what? Let's take that and run with it. And we did. It got so busy when I opened the business that I had to pull him out. I was like, please come help me. He went to work at Kroger because he got laid off, and he's just not a man to sit at home. So we did that, and I pulled him in, and I was overwhelmed. And I was like, please come work for me. Please help me. And it took off from there.
Yeah. Please come help me at work. Please come work for me. That might have been harder.
Yeah, I had to convert the business license to the husband and wife, but it was so awesome.
So y'all doing residential or commercial?
Commercial and residential.
Okay. Wow. What's the bulk of it?
Mainly residential. We're mainly in West Haven.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we
All right.
love it.
Yeah, there's good living
spot
to be made there.
It is.
That's brilliant.
Obviously.
Everyone's living in their own filth during COVID. They're like staring at their dirty house.
Yes.
They're like, I will happily pay for someone to clean this up.
Yeah.
It was wild. I thought we weren't going to have any business because of COVID, but like you said, everybody wanted to be clean.
And not everybody was as freaked out as everybody wanted everybody to believe.
Right.
Exactly.
And y'all aren't scared of work. That's for sure.
No, sir.
Good for you guys.
Impressive.
Well, yeah, you're just out. I mean, you took control, man. That's powerful stuff. So what made you decide at that 36-month mark to go? Was it all the layoffs? You got, oh, crap?
Yeah, we got really scared, and we were like, we don't ever want to be in that situation. We don't ever want to know where, our meal's going to come from or how we're going to get our kids, fed and taken care of. And we were like, no, never again. And we were getting things in the mail like, oh, hey, you do not have to pay your mortgage this month. You can just, they were doing that whole wait thing. And we're like, absolutely not. We cannot do this. But after that, he got on board, and we both got on board. It was me. I was more the spender. He's looking at me like, tell them you're the spender. But
what was the hardest thing to stop spending money on that really just crushed you?
Going out to eat.
Oh.
Yeah. Going out to eat and doing stuff. As a family, we had to do a lot of stuff inside, free stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was hard.
That's a tough one, but it was worth it.
It was so worth it.
Well worth it.
So you pay off $113,000 in 36 months. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Stay focused, stay disciplined, because all of our friends, all our family, we had family members that were like, we're not doing the Dave Ramsey, we're not going to eat crackers and bologna. And I'm like, he's not saying that. We got a lot of...
No, it's beans and rice.
Yes. Beans and rice is so much better. You can put so much flavor. It was, but yeah, so that, that's kind of...
Yeah, you live like
hardest
no
thing.
one else. Later, you get to live like no one else. So now that you're debt-free, what are they saying?
They're asking us how we did it, so we're letting them know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not to mention, you guys have worked an amazing amount of hours. You've worked your tail ends off.
7 days a week for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah. Are you going to be able to hire some folks and slow down just a little bit now?
We're trying.
Speaking of that, Mr. Blake Thompson, he works here. We cleaned for him. We have for 2 years, and he gave us the book. He had it signed for us at Christmas, and we were over the moon. You signed it, and it was EntreLeadership.
Oh,
How
good.
cool is that?
And it was like the next step for our business. It's like, wow, okay, we're here. We got this debt free. Now let's work on building this. So,
wow,
what a
we're
coincidence!
we were
that Blake
so
Thompson,
excited.
the
Where is
original
Blake?
producer,
Call him in time to get in
he was
here.
in here earlier.
He was so excited. We were excited. He was there to give it to us, and it was, I don't know, just like the
He
next
must have
step.
not known you were here today. He would have been out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's full circle on the 30th anniversary.
It's wild.
to think about Blake, the original producer, and you guys running
Well,
into
and
him.
Greg Carson teaching it in our high
Yes.
school, you know,
Wow.
the whole thing. Yeah, that's just,
Full
if you
circle.
keep at it long enough, you'll eventually get through to you.
Exactly.
It will.
It took me a while, but
Yeah, excellent job. You guys are incredible. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
Proud
you.
of your business exploding and your courage and how
Yes,
you went
sir.
out there and proved the American dream is alive and well.
It is.
So if the hotel lays you off and the attorney lays you off, all they did was cause Americans to be, I don't know, free enterprise system. Let's go start something and make more than we were making anyway from you people.
Yes, sir.
exactly.
Here we go. Game on.
It was-
Prove it out. I love it.
awesome.
I love it. It's powerful. Powerful. That's a good thing. It's amazing the number of highly successful businesses that were started by someone who was a wee bit desperate and had been put down by someone else or cast aside by someone else, so to speak. So very, very cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. How's it feel now that you're free?
Amazing.
So good.
A weight off of our shoulders.
Yeah.
We can breathe.
We got more books for you, Baby Steps Millionaires, because that's the next chapter in your story for sure. Financial Peace University, 1-year membership, and a Total Money Makeover book. Maybe that's how you can answer the question from somebody that's asking you. Give them a copy of that book. That book's helped about 8 million people. And you brought your daughter with you.
We
Bring her up. Let's introduce her. Tell her how her name and age, please.
This is Eliana, and she is 11.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Very cool. Well done, you two. Proud of you. You're heroes.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent job. Elijah and Caitlin and Eliana from Nashville. $113,000 paid off in 36 months, making 65 to 180. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
Well done, you two.
A small business started, a family tree changed. There's a lot to love about this story. They're impressive family.
A lot of good things happening there. Beautifully done, you guys. Beautifully done. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Corinthians 9:24. Do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Winston Churchill said, never give in, never give in, never, 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 in nothing great or small, large or petty, never give in, except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force, never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. Never quit, never quit, never quit. Which is our secret around here, George, for 30 years. We failed a lot, but we just never quit. Lots of people smarter than us, lots of people richer than us, lots of people that have big companies behind them, opening doors for their shows and doing other things. Lots of people owned by other companies. We were a freestanding show, meaning that we own it. Mm-hmm. We syndicate the show. We have to get the radio stations in each city to take the show. We have to negotiate with a podcast company to carry the podcasts. We have to do it all. We have to pay for all of it. We reap the benefits from all of it, but we have done a lot of stupid stuff, but the only thing we did that continued to work was we just never quit.
Keep showing up.
for 30 years.
We are standing on the shoulders of giants like you and many of the leaders that came before me, Dave. So thank you so much for providing hope for so long to so many.
Thank you. It's been a good ride, George. It's been a really, really good ride. A lot of fun. The Ramsey Goal Planner is up for sale on pre-sale. We'll be coming out very soon and shipping them to you. Get you ready for 2023. There's a devotional each day, a full calendar each day, a layout on everything, stuff written by Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney, George Camel, me, other Ramsey personalities all the way through the thing. The Ramsey Goal Planner is a must-have for your 2023 planning. It is always a big seller. It always sells out, meaning we don't buy too many of them, but it's available on pre-sale right now, and you can check it out at RamseySolutions.com. For those of you that are into the planner, Christy Wright, Ramsey personality years ago, started this. And as she has moved on to other things, we have converted the idea to just the Ramsey Goal Planner, and it is completely redone, new cover, new everything. Beautiful, beautiful piece for next year, and we want you to get it pre-ordered and get it done. Andrew is in Boise, Idaho. Hi, Andrew. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. How y'all doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Thanks. My 8-year-old son accumulated about $120 in cash, and he's been asking if he should have it in the checking account or keep it in cash and throw it in envelopes, or should we put a portion of it in savings? Just kind of want to get your old thoughts on that.
Very cool. Good for him.
Good for him. Where'd he get that?
Birthday, and we got the Ramsey chore chart, and he's accumulated quite a bit from that also.
Cool. So you're working the Financial Peace Junior system with the 3 envelopes, the give, save, and spend envelope?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would keep it divided into those, and when the save envelope gets big enough, you can go down and open a savings account. That's what I would do for an 8-year-old. A checking account assumes he's going to be using a debit card or writing checks and doing transactions from that account. I really don't want him doing transactions at 8 years old. If he's going to do transactions, that's at the toy store, and he's going to take a little cash down and buy something, or the sporting goods store or whatever and buy something. But he can just take cash out of his spend envelope for that. That'll be just fine. We're not going to be using the checking account actively. Now, I do move kids into a checking account in their teenage years so that we can teach them how to reconcile the account. We used to call it balancing a checking account. It is a good idea, even though hardly anyone does it anymore, to learn to actually write a check, to fill it out. Admittedly, I've not filled one out in a very long time. The checks that are written here at Ramsey are all automated, including my personal account. And most people use electronic bill pay and those kinds of things. George, do you write checks?
I just wrote a check today, Dave.
Did you? How many checks do you write a month?
Probably less than 1. I'd say in a year I probably do 4 or 5.
Okay.
And usually it's to save money so I can avoid transaction fees.
Yeah,
okay. You know, I'm frugal. But it's a great skill to have.
I usually have the cash in my pocket, so I'm still an old cash guy. But I want to teach kids to do transaction. The method of having a savings or checking account in their teens, Andrew, is just to be able, as a dad, as a mom, to put your arm around them and teach them how to do these transactions. It's not to set them free and act like they're adults. They're not old enough to even drive yet or buy beer, so we're not going to turn them loose with $2,000 in an account. But I actually put my kids' clothing money into their checking accounts when they were 15, 16, 17, living at home, and let them make their own clothing purchases. And that taught them, you know, the difference in Banana Republic and Old Navy. You know, I mean, it teaches you the difference in the budget here. That shirt costs what? And suddenly, when it's coming out of your account, even though it was my money that went into your account, it wakes you up, right? And so it really taught them budgeting. And then when they went off to college, they already knew how to operate a budget, and they already knew how to live on a set amount, and they already knew how to operate their checking account. And so we set them up. We're training them to be good adults is what we're doing. It's not actually just to give a teenager freedom. I don't need to give a teenager freedom. I want to teach them. I want to teach them.
Yes.
That's the goal. And then with that comes some freedom. With that comes some liberties, but this is not to just like, oh, we now have given you a piece of plastic and a cell phone, and so that's a rite of passage into adulthood in America today. Oh, and your own Facebook account. This is dumber than a rock right here.
Yeah, once they start earning money and actually getting some paychecks, then it's time to go, okay, we can do the checking account, get a debit card.
Yeah, and, you know, if you're going to turn over, like, you know, our kids were making lots of money doing odd jobs for other people, babysitting, mowing grass, whatever, that kind of stuff. So that can all go in there. but it's not. I want to teach you parents this. This is so countercultural, and it sounds mean, but it's your children are children by definition legally until they're 18. And so I can't tell him what to do with his money when he's 16 is the sign that you are a wuss, not a parent. Okay? You can tell him what to do. He doesn't have any money until he's 18. She doesn't have any money. I don't care if they earned it or not. It's technically not their money. They live in your household. It's technically your money, legally speaking. Now, I'm not suggesting you take their money and go buy cocaine for you with it. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? But I am saying this idea that somehow that you don't have rights as a parent to teach your 16-year-old how to handle money he or she earned doing something out there in the marketplace is absolute BS. You are shirking your duties as a mom and dad. It is your job to put your arm around them and kick their little butt and teach them how to handle this stuff.
You got to tell them to take a shower, and you got to tell them to brush their teeth, so they don't have free reign here as kids.
The inmates don't run the freaking asylum. And so, but parents are turning them loose with thousands of dollars, cell phones, and then wonder how they get tied up in sex trafficking. Wonder how they get sucked into stuff because they don't have the emotional or mental maturity to deal with some of the issues that we stick them into. They are still children by definition.
More is caught than taught.
Yeah.
And so you got to model this stuff too. If your kids see you doing stupid butt mistakes with money and swiping that credit card, that's what they're going to learn is normal and okay.
Yeah.
So it starts.
And if you just turn them loose in the wild, that's not your job. You didn't toss them the car keys and they never had a driving lesson. That'd be suicidal.
I thought that's what they did in the South. You just let them go at 14.
Put them out in the field where there's no trees and other people. But yeah, drive your truck across there, whatever. But still, you don't do that. You give driving lessons. You give money lessons. You give work lessons. You give technology lessons so that you're not going to live with your nose stuck in a screen. And so you're gonna have some balance here. This is a tool. It is not an obsession, and so on. And we just walk kids through this stuff. But my friend Andy Andrews says our job as parents is not to raise great kids, but to raise kids that become great adults. And that is a different goal.
That's wisdom.
And that changes everything. And so that's your job, moms and dads. So, Andrew, you're a great dad. Thank you for teaching Financial Peace Junior. If you don't know, folks, that's a box of teaching aids to teach kids 12 and under how to handle their money and learn to do chores, get paid for them like a capitalist, not a socialist. And you don't make money just because you breathe. You make money when you work. That's how this works in the real world, boys and girls.
That 8-year-old has a higher net worth than most adult Americans. Think about that. That's sad.
Lock
with
that in.
$100 in the bank.
All right, George, good job today. Good job, James, Andrew, Zach, Ben, and Austin in the booth. Congratulations on the booth dudes and everybody else on 30 years of this show. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.